Hey, what's up, universe? It is 11:18 a.m. on Friday, June 2nd, 2023. So this might be a little bit of a meandering video, and I would record outside, but there's a diesel truck that's, I think, would be distracting in the background. This might be a bit of a meandering video, somewhat. There's the main inspiration is that some of you, actually, I don't know how many of you would know, I used to practice astrology for quite some time. Ever since a child, I was interested in the topic, and so when I graduated college, I made a concerted effort to educate myself, and it took me a long time because I was looking for something like as far back that I could go in time to find a working system of astrology. I wasn't entirely happy with the contemporary systems of astrology, and I was also looking for specific things such as predictive techniques and things like that. And I was looking for something from somebody who had practiced these techniques from way back in the day. And again, I was looking to go back as far as I could. It was a really interesting research process. I won't digress. Short version is I did come to study medieval astrology as practiced by Guido Bonati, an Italian astrologer who used to work for the state around the 12th, 13th century. I give you this context because maybe 2 or 3 times now I've entertained ChatGPT with some astrological questions, and it's been really interesting to see its responses, because what you see is I practiced this medieval astrology. I studied and practiced it for 17 years off and on, and after my divorce from Angela, every single day for hours and hours I would practice. And this is what I would do with my journals. Like for 3 years I would journal my entire day, start to finish, the entire day. And some days it took me longer to journal than others because I might be charged about something, and I would let myself go on about whatever it was. And in this journal, like I wrote my own software for the journal. I needed it to be in a database so I could search and do all sorts of stuff. So I wrote my own journaling software. And for 3 years I journaled, and I had so much astrological data in this journal as well, because I was keeping track of like these patterns and the transits and like the things it was connected to, like, things that were going on in my life, and just seeing, it was really interesting to see these patterns appear, things that were like outside of my control, even with other people. So basically, more or less, I have seen the validity of astrology. And now mind you that astrology comes from a time when art, science, and philosophy were all interconnected, and they were not separate. They were not viewed as separate. And so really to practice these things and to get connected to things from far past, in my experience, it's been the best way to get in touch with those techniques is to really wrap your mind around how the people of the time viewed reality and interacted with reality. It makes the system make a lot more sense. So the reason, again, I give you this is that since I was using ChatGPT and it provided an interesting analysis, as I am reading, so today I did one for the full moon that's coming up on Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. And I gave it, specifics. I was like, hey, like, you're a professional astrologer working with the techniques of Guido Bonati. I'm interested in a detailed analysis of the full moon. It would be in the house, in the chart that I'm interested in, it would be in this house and this sign, squaring this aspect and this house and this sign, and sextiling this aspect and this house and this sign, and giving it the details, and it spit out some really interesting stuff. Now, this whole video is not about astrology. what it's about is me being mindful and aware of how it felt in my body to receive this information. And I would tell you this because it goes back to that whole personal creation triangle, right? I'm receiving data. What meaning am I giving it? That's the important thing. Because anytime that I find myself seeking information and looking for something, right? I'm looking for an answer. I am looking for an explanation, right? Then I'm allowing myself to, I'm opening up my consciousness to receive data to provide me meaning, because I'm looking for meaning is basically what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an answer, and I'm looking to figure out what something means, right? I'm looking to figure out what this data means to me, or I have an unknown, and that unknown is creating the desire to change that from an unknown state to a known state. So I'm looking for data, I'm looking for information, I'm looking for context, to fit this unknown pattern into, right? That's what my brain seems to be doing. So if I am not consciously like guarding that gate, that top point of the triangle, if I'm not consciously being like, okay, I'm receiving this data, okay, this lands, this doesn't land, and then also like understanding how it lands, what causes it to land. Like there's a lot of analysis going on up at that top point about being the gatekeeper. And that's what I say, like that's my work, right? Like doing technical stuff is just like a way for me to pay my 3D bills, like, you know what I mean? But like my spiritual energetic work, like that's, in my mind, it's like the only thing that truly matters is sitting at the top and having my consciousness be the one that's intentionally like allowing things in and being like intentional around the meanings and the contexts on like all of it, and understanding like where it all came from, where did these meanings come from, where's this stuff that's coming up, this meaning that I might be giving it right now, like just doing this huge amount of work at the top. So that way the context, the vibration, and then the experience is like an intentional process. It's so much easier for me to be very passive about that. Sit in front of a TV, listen to some music, have some information come into me from ChatGPT about astrology, and then take that on as a truth, right? Or pieces of that as truth, rather than being like, oh, wait, now this information actually might be valid, like it could be, it's not that the data is inaccurate, okay? It's not about that. It's not about is the data true or false. It's about what am I making the data mean? Even if the data is true, I need to be mindful from my own experience around what am I making it mean. So I was feeling in my body when I'm reading this ChatGPT astrological analysis, and I was like, whoa, I was like, that's pretty cool about like, it was just really cool. There was a couple pieces where it really kind of, in my mind, thought outside of the box as far as an interpretation. And I'm like, that's pretty rad. That's pretty cool. And at the same time, though, I felt how it was feeling in my body. And I was like, okay, I need to be mindful about this before I start taking this on. Like I can feel this data being input and how it lands in like some of my subconscious patterns through my studies, and being like, oh, yep, that's true. Oh, yep, that's true. And it's kind of like, wait. I feel in my body what that feels like. And I'm like, no. Like, it's not that it's not true. It's just that feeling, I'm not going with that. You know what I mean? And this is where, things like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and like the power of the mind, the power of belief, and like, and I'm pretty sure they've done studies on this, and again, of course, I'm no doctor, but again, it's about like terminally ill patients, right? When the power that a doctor has simply by saying something, the power of suggestion. Oh, you have so long to live. And some individuals take that as like the holy gospel, and they happen to only live so long. Other people are like, fuck that, and they have their own belief, and they live 15, 20 years beyond what the quote-unquote expert said. And I'm not saying that they're not experts. I'm just saying that, like, I absolutely believe the power of this thing up here in my skull, and yours too. Like, so I'm going to go ahead and, like, it's been my experience that when I'm mindful, that this out here is a whole different thing. And so I was just really experiencing that by receiving that information, receiving that data from ChatGPT from a place that I'm extremely familiar with, meaning an astrological context, and from a place where I have spent years, affirming certain things. So I'm telling you that because those are the patterns, right? And that's what I was running into when I'm reading this. I'm like, whoa. Before I just go and like run with this and affirm it and just take it on as like the truth, let's just take it as data. Let's neutralize this data. And I'm still actually kind of working through that. And just like, because of how it feels in my body, like I'm so keen on this. Like there's a real state of being that I work towards in every single moment. It's that important to me. So I thought that was interesting. Couple things that other things that are going on. It's been a day or two since I've done a video. I called, I received a bill from Angela about my youngest son. He had some, how do we want to say, physical therapy that he needed to do a handful of months ago. So I called them and worked out a payment plan. So that's good. That was kind of on my mind for a minute over the last couple of days. Let's see. There's just some things that I'm curious about. I'll speak to them if and when they unfold. What else there? It just kind of seems like some stuff around like the finances like have kind of come up here recently. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Reese texted me last night. So there was this following up on, the additional that I owe her. So yeah, just like these things, like it's funny in a way, like where I can have like a moment of like being okay, and then like something will come up like the text from Reese. I didn't get any charge around that. There wasn't any anxiety. There wasn't any like, oh shit, like there could have been, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's interesting. Like, things could be like, okay, I'm good. I have a state around this and I'm managing it. And then something comes up and it like kind of, oh shit, like knocks me one way or the other. I'm grateful that last night was not that way. I still don't know why. I can't explain it. I really don't know. Yeah, because I know what it looks like. So, all right, thank you. I'm going to wrap this up here, and I'm going to write intentions for the full moon, things that I'm looking to release so that I can create space. And being grateful for the things that are coming to fruition. It's a time of harvest. From the seeds that were planted from the previous new moon, or perhaps new moons prior. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining with me. Thank you for our relationship. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity, your time, your attention, your focus. Thanks for journeying with me. I appreciate it. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.